to the show today. I know we got a lot of parents and also young athletes that subscribe to this channel. And I have to say, the best summer job that you can have is one that gives you a little bit of freedom that allows you to still play sports, but it's also a blasty blast. What is it? Say it.
For me, lifeguarding.
Lifeguarding is a blasty blast.
It
We
is.
both did it.
It is.
What did we do? I did 4 years. You did
I probably
77
10.
or
Like
something?
it was forever. In fact, I was a lifeguard like 2 years ago. Like it's still a thing I do.
It was, it was a cool experience because it allowed for me when I was playing ball, ultimate freedom. I could still work, 40, 50 hours a week and then was able to still do all the sports during the weekends if I had double headers or in the evenings. Not to mention, you get to swim.
Well, let's go through hard benefits and soft benefits. Hard benefit, you get cash. It was actually a pretty good paying job at the time.
Yeah. At the time, what was minimum wage was five something,
yeah,
six
something in that range.
and then we were making like $7.90.
Oh no, we got all the way up to like 10. Like by the time they started going on, we were well above normal minimum wage.
I don't remember. I guess that is.
Oh, it was legit.
Maybe I'm thinking of the first year we did it.
Yeah, the first year, and there was a big swap. And I
You got a raise every year too.
Right, and I think a lot of lifeguarding places even still are well above the minimum wage because it's semi-professional, and that's like hard.
Learn a cool skill. You get to learn CPR, all the different things on how to save somebody. You get a little bit of that kind of training in. But I will say the one thing to watch out for, come on now. We've seen some of these pools. You got to pick a good one.
I just went to a pool today to go swimming, and it's an indoor pool, which this time of year I want to be doing indoor anyway. And the echo in that room was so bad. Like I had a headache every time I come out of the water.
Oh yeah, it's
I
loud.
can't imagine lifeguarding in those places.
Yeah, you got to get an outside pool. You got to get some areas where there's some saves. Give you some diving boards, some big slides. Throw some waves in there.
You want to feel like a hero. Like I signed up to be a hero. I don't want to sit around and be a doofus the whole day. I want to be a hero.
I'm training to save people. That's what I'm here for. There's not a rush like that.
Well, and I think that's it. So there's soft win number one is like you actually have trained to do something that is worthwhile, valuable, and when you execute it, you feel like $1 billion.
Well, I mean, if you're trying to play sports and things, you're going to be under pressure. There is no more learning how to be under pressure than jumping in and trying to save a kid's life.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about an adrenaline dump. Let's go ahead and go through the roof and see if you remember anything you were supposed to know what to do.
Oh, panic time. That kid's got dish plate eyeballs. I need to go.
Yeah, you're right. And then did you get him out? Did you do it right? Did you do this right? Did you now try to fill out a report when your adrenaline's to a 97?
Yeah, I'm soaking wet and my hand is jittery because I'm dumping a bunch of adrenaline at the time. Like those are my favorite reports. You couldn't read anything.
Oh, no. I don't even know what the point of like having anyone even write them was. So you did, you saved them. Yes, sign here. I saved them and they were in the water and it was dangerous. And
I did a feet first entry. It was textbook. You should have seen it. We did see it. We taped it. Oh, good.
Did I do it right?
Do you remember those days where they would have, so Ellis and Associates was the guarding company we used, and they would come around and do audits. Do you remember the audits?
I remember they would throw that fake baby in the water. Like what I would imagine if you were a parent and you came to this pool for the first time, if you've never seen anything like that, what a terrible instance when you watch. Don't get me wrong, there were some lifeguards that sucked. They got in trouble.
Never even saw it
happen. And they'd
happen.
throw the baby in. All these kids would be swimming, but all of them saw the person throw a baby in. And they're like, oh my God, this lifeguard isn't doing anything.
Right. You immediately are like, I'm never coming here again.
Yeah. The little bit of disheartening probably for some of them parents to see that, I would imagine.
But at that moment, too, you also got to see what's the reaction of the public. Like if you were any kind of lifeguard, you could see public go and like immediately panic. Did you have the one, so they had the shadow. Did you ever get the shadow one where they drag this mat that looks like a cutout of a person on the bottom of the pool down at the bottom? Because you could like hide it in your trunks and then unroll it when you did a dive.
I only had the babies that they would fill up with water, like the fake babies, and they would kind of sink about halfway in. Yeah. But the only thing that ever made me mad was whenever it was done to me is when you're doing your scans and you go from left to right and I'm working my bottom. You can't help but feel panic as soon as you see it. Mm-hmm. But what always made me mad is like, I didn't miss that. Like the whole time as you're jumping in.
That baby hasn't been here the whole day. I've looked for babies. I'm afraid that a baby's going to drown.
Yeah, that always drove me nuts though. It's like, no, I'm good at this. Okay. Don't be throwing babies in my water and freaking me out, give me a heart attack. Cause I don't suck at my job. You know what I mean?
Right. All right. So what's another soft benefit to being a lifeguard?
I think it gives you great pay, ultimate level of being able to work under pressure. And it's just a lot of fun. There's not a lot of jobs where you get a good time. I promise you, I made more money doing that than anybody mowing lawns.
Mm-hmm.
I made more money than anybody waiting tables. I made more money doing lifeguarding than pretty much any summer job. And I had a full workload of playing, all the travel select baseball. Right. You didn't have to miss anything. You had a tremendous amount of hours, swim lessons, morning, night, full day swim stuff. And I'm sure most pools are like that still today.
Well, and it's a summer job that you actually want to go to. Like, there were a lot of summer jobs that some of my friends had growing up that I like, so you're not going to
you're working.
Yeah, you're not coming to hang out with us because you're going to go park cars.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not coming and working, or you're not coming and hanging out with us because you're going to go wait tables tonight?
Well, a lot of them, it used to be, I don't know if that's so much now, but like work at a movie theater. Mm-hmm. It seems like a good idea until it's 95 outside and you're working in a movie theater.
All day long, just respooling movies.
Right.
Like, I did that job. There was a fun aspect to it, but man, it was not as fun as lifeguarding.
Yeah, the parks and recs kind of element in cities really are kind of a resource that I feel like a lot of people need to get into. You got to find some of those kind of jobs because there are a whole lot of things for younger people that would really enjoy that you get to make a little bit of moolah.
Well, and it's one of those jobs that I think you can actually like forecast your future. And we have two guys in our lifeguarding group that decided, I love this so much. I'm going to be a firefighter so I can keep doing this as I grow up.
Right.
And they both did. Like, they both, by the time they were like 20, were full-time firefighters in the city that we worked in. Like, that's like, you're not going to figure that out when you're, waiting tables or bussing tables. You're not going to figure that out when you're, out on the golf course shagging balls for that. Like, you're not going to get that kind of deep professional decision by doing most jobs that you do as a high schooler.
Or you could use the job things trying to figure out what you really want to do. I mean, I don't know if you could find some kind of a way. The problem with most of these jobs is they're not very relevant to what you have access to and to what the real world looks like whatsoever anyway.
Well,
so get out there and get you a real job. Well, it's not really like a job that I would have past high school.
So that begs another question. Like, is there a job that maybe you would advise somebody look into now? Being lifeguard was great when we were kids, and I probably am going to advise my kids to try lifeguarding. At least try it. But is there something else you would be like, hey, maybe think about this?
High school is a tough time for kids and like being judged by their peers and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't know anybody that just had this magical experience in high school and never had to deal with the bullying or anything. I mean, somehow, some way, everything seems to be the end of the world for every kid in some situation at some point, right?
Sure.
But this day and age, it's free to make YouTube videos, and it's free to be a creator, and it's free to find a niche. And I would highly recommend any kid to start trying to create something that they're super interested in because it's free to make, and learning the skills on how to edit video, write descriptions, be creative, make titles, learn all the software pieces. If you're going to be an entrepreneur at any point in your life, all those skills would be ginormous to make. And not to mention, one day you may be forced into being in some version of media that you may not really like. But imagine a kid that's really into Pokemon.
Right.
Well, you could make a Pokemon channel that's all about everything that you're completely and all out interested in and learn the process of making creative content and all that stuff to where did it hurt you? No, It's just nothing but learning. And it gave you a hobby that was maybe a little bit better than just playing video games or just doing, what I mean?
Just collecting Pokemon cards. Like,
right.
I kind of get what you're saying. Like, use the job opportunities you have as a young person to actually develop the skills that don't pertain to the job, but pertain to how I do jobs.
Right. Anybody that thinks that being a YouTube creator or something in that fashion, if you're looking at your kid and they think that they're going to be something special like that, I think you really almost got to take it and say, how can what you do be more unique than anyone else? Mm-hmm. And if you can guide a child on that path in that kind of a format, I think that would be a pretty cool aspect to, even if they're not even really making any money, learning those things and trying to develop the skill set. And in essence, you're really learning like the business model. When you get older and you're kind of in a different niche, you're going to understand all that stuff all that much better because you've actually thought about it. You've used your brain. You've tried to make a unique standpoint from some element. You know what I mean?
And I'll be a little bit selfish as an adult who would have a teenager who's trying to decide how to be a YouTuber. It also makes me engage with the things that they're engaged with because I need to know, like, I need a new camera so that I can post on YouTube better. well, now let's talk about cameras. Let's talk about financing. Let's talk about how we save up for an $800 camera. Let's talk like there's a whole realm of conversations we get to have as an adult and a kid that otherwise wouldn't be there.
Well, what's cool is you got an entry-level thing that doesn't cost any money. And then when you decide that if you want to move it into a different realm, now all of a sudden you're really teaching like groundworks of starting a business.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, this turns into something completely different. I mean, this day going forward, you've got so many... The writing's on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Robots can write articles and make websites in seconds.
Right.
You know, we've heard a little bit about the jazz where there's been some talks of robots in other countries that basically are writing an article and then writing like 10 sources and building the entire website with the article, posts, the research and everything. They wrote it all in like 12 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So like, here's an article that everyone quotes. Here's all the back information that really looks legit. And the robot wrote it all.
But it's all fake.
So if you think about it in terms like that, there's going to be an awful lot of jobs in the whole world that the only thing that is available for people to do is to be super creative.
Right.
And if you're not going to be super creative, you know, we're already talking about self-driving cars. You may have robots doing that. Elon with his Optimus. You might have a butler roaming the home. There goes all your lawn services. There goes all the entry-level positions. All of a sudden, what really does exist? You might want to teach your kid how to optimize creativity.
Yeah, how to think, how to problem solve, how to be a part of an ecosystem that's larger than problem answer, and instead is like projections and thinking through the whys and the hows something is done.
Well, that's what I think is so cool about that is it doesn't cost any money. And if you can get someone ticking on that world of literally trying to make the best thing that they can possibly make, you never know where that'll take them, you know?
No, I like that. Like, so for us, lifeguarding.
Yeah.
But perhaps for my kids, maybe I shouldn't push lifeguarding so hard.
Well, maybe it wouldn't be lifeguarding in 2022.
Yeah,
you know,
perhaps this one is, hey, you've already said you wanted to do YouTube. Let's look into what that really looks like.
Yeah, let's check it out. What's your niche? What's your thing going to be? What's the deal, you know?
Man.
Life's weird in 2022.
Weird 2022.
Hey, thanks for watching the show today. If you want more videos, head to kbandstraining.com, or, you know, you can always subscribe to the old Spotify's and YouTube. Have a great day.